And this is Movie Homicide. We're talking about, man, this one, I've been dying to do this video. It's, well, it's obvious. We're going to be talking about The Evil Dead, the ultimate experience in grueling terror. I'm rocking my Fright Rags right now. Support Fright Rags. Shout out to Fright Rags. Yeah, man. Let's do this. Anyway, this film right here. This is my first copy of the DVD of The Evil Dead. Like I said, I've told in countless other videos. I used to rent this at Blockbuster all the time. Not as much as the sequel, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn, but I would rent this all the time, but not as much as the sequel, like I said. But man, what a movie! It's like Joe Bob said, Sam Raimi's a madman from Michigan, and this shows. He just basically, made a movie with his friends, Rob Tapper, and Bruce Campbell, the main lead, Ashley J. Williams, if you want to get technical. Yeah, he just followed his dreams and made it a reality. It all started with his short film. I don't know what kind of film it was shot on, but it was Within the Woods. Some people say it's a prequel to this movie, but I've only seen it one time. But yeah, it's just what kind of rooted the Evil Dead. It was the seeds to make this happen. He showed it to some guys. I remember watching a podcast, an Eli Roth podcast. I don't remember what it's called, but Bruce Campbell was on there. It was an audio podcast. You can find it on Shudder, the horror streaming service if you have that. And basically, they showed this film, Within the Woods, and he's like, the story goes is it was originally when they greenlit the movie, and it was getting distributed. They originally were gonna call it Book of the Dead, and then I remember Bruce Campbell said in the podcast, the Eli Roth podcast, she's like, well, why don't you call it The Evil Dead? It was somebody he knew, Bruce and Rob and Sam knew, one of the head honchos at the time. He's like, why don't you call it The Evil Dead? The Evil Dead? I don't know if that'll work. And well, sure enough, what did they know? And it's 4 years later, and it's like I say, I've said it before and I've said it again, it's standing the test of time. Yeah, it's even Stephen King said, I have it over here. It says Stephen King, best-selling author of The Shining and The Carrie. It says, ultimate experience in grueling terror. Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead. Yes, they coined that term, from hearing Stephen King say such nice things. Sam Raimi kind of coined that term and the rest of the gang, and well, the rest is history. We have this movie, and the story goes is, if you don't know, you need to know. A group of friends, probably on vacation, summer vacation maybe it looked like at the time. They go up to the mountains. I forgot what location at the time, but they go up in the mountains, and they basically spend the night in this abandoned cabin. And I always wondered how they acquired Nobi's cabin, because it was really hidden in the mountains. And yeah, it was just really cool, because they go up there, and Ash isn't the Hefe, the hero, the king that we know today. At the time, he was just kind of a wuss puss. I don't want to sound mean, but that's kind of, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He didn't really get man up until like Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. I feel because this movie, like, so they go up to the cabin, they spend the night, and they're like partying, and they're like, as Scotty says, party down, and they're like drinking booze and probably moonshine most likely, and you know, all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, the cellar door like flies open, and you know, the music, you know, if you've heard it, you know, it's pretty creepy music. They go down there. Scotty, I think, goes down there, and then Ash Williams follows Scotty down the fruit cellar, like, you know, the cellar, and so they go down there, and then that's when they find the book, the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, aka the Necronomicon, and it's actually funny because it's like right by a torn, like, Hills Have Eyes poster. It was a Wes Craven film, because Wes Craven and Sam Raimi kind of had like a friendly feud going on. So, like, a matter of fact, if you've seen like Nightmare on Elm Street, there's like a scene where Nancy's watching Evil Dead. It was kind of a shout out to Sam. Wes Craven was doing shout out to Sam Raimi in that way, friendly shout out, you know, feud or anything like that. Yeah, so Sam's tribute to Wes was, I'm gonna put the Torn Hills Have Eyes poster in the cellar, and they did. But true horror fans know what I'm talking about. But so that happens, and then, you know, Ash, I don't know why, he curiously here's the audio of Professor Nobi chanting Klaatu Rata, that classic chant, which was, I believe, was like borrowed from the film The Day the Earth Stood Still, because they say that. But yeah, Sam loves like old cinema and the Three Stooges. He loves slapstick, and I love how he combines comedy with horror. It just flows like a melting pot. So what happens, getting back to the story, what happens is they translate the Kundarian, like, translations of the Necronomicon, and it's like, see this right here, this is like the audio tapes that they heard, but the book was there, and so is the Kundarian dagger, which can kill a Deadeye instantly. So all hell breaks loose, literally, and the first person to go is Ash's sister. She's the first to go. She goes out in the woods curiously. It's like, I heard a noise. I know you're out there. And it's like cold smoke, like a foggy moon, you know, creepy atmosphere. And there's a controversial scene that happens next. You know what it is if you're an Evil Dead fan, but so let's just say she gets branch banged. I don't want to say any more than that because I'm not really a fan of that scene, and neither is Sam Raimi. But it's just a controversial scene. Story goes is when they had the screenings, there was like a lady that fainted. I heard this from Bruce Campbell himself in like an interview, but like the lady like fainted after seeing the branch banging scene. And yeah, so basically, his sister gets possessed, Ash Williams' sister. I think her name's Cheryl. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, it's Cheryl. And she becomes like a Deadite, as they call them. She's the first to become a Deadite. And she stabs Ash's darling Linda in the calf with a pencil. And it's very, like, you hear a crunch, and it's basically the sound of an apple, pretty much, and yeah, it stabs into her foot or something, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. So they're just like lock Cheryl in the cellar, the fruit cellar, and then they chain it up, and then they're like, Ash is like, what are we gonna do? And Scotty's like freaking out, you know. Nobody likes Scotty. He was kind of a one-off character, but he's still important to this plot in the story. So I think Scotty ends up like going out to try to find help, and Ash is there with Linda and his sister, and yeah, it's literally hell breaking loose, and I think Linda ends up getting possessed as well as Scotty's girlfriend, and I think Scotty like comes back and he's like he's all fucked up. Probably the woods messed him up or something, and he's like disoriented, and Ash is like giving him water, and it's like, we're gonna be all right, and of course they're not all right. And what happens is, like, as the film progresses, Ash is just like kind of losing it, not really, but like he's kind of fending for himself. Like, he has to battle like all these possessed friends he has. Like, they're all deadites now, and it's crazy. And that last finale, like the camera angles that like Sam Raimi's like doing all these cool camera angles, and like I love his like camera angles. Sam Raimi is probably my favorite director. He knows how to work a camera. He knows what he wants in film, and I applaud Sam Raimi. He's, to this day, I love his Spider-Man movies, like Tobey Maguire, but we're talking about Evil Dead, so his early works. So yeah, Ash is like freaking out. He's like fighting all of his dead friends, and all he has really is like it's like an axe, and then he has like a shotgun. Thing is, he doesn't use the chainsaw as much in the original film. That's more like Evil Dead 2, because yeah, that's just more Evil Dead 2. It's in the first movie, but it's not really as much used, if that makes sense. And so yeah, he's just like, he's fighting them, you know. Next thing you know, Scotty turns into a deadite. Spoiler alert. That guy. And then all of his friends are deadites. So he's just like fucked for a while, but he ends up becoming like manning up and not being that like wuss puss that he was in like the first half of the film. He becomes this guy, the Hefe, you know, the hero Ash that we all love. He's manning up, and so he ends up like the finale. He's like, all the deadites are kind of like ganging up on him, and he ends up basically like just throwing, like, you know, he has this necklace. Like early on in the film, his girl gives him this necklace, Linda, and it's like a magnifying glass necklace, and he throws that at the Necronomicon, kind of like hook it in, like, he eventually gets a hold of the book, and like he tosses it into the fireplace, and that's when the claymation happens, like stop motion claymation animation. I love that stuff. I love stop motion animation. Big fan of it. It's kind of a dying art, dead art, but Robot Chicken kind of kept it alive, I feel. But yeah, this is just the DVD. As you see here, this is the disc. Ash Winham's on it. We got a booklet in here. It's called The Ladies of the Evil Dead. Those are the female characters. It's like the original movie poster. By the way, I have always like an appreciation for like I've said in the past videos, I love painted posters, and this is one of them. Going on 40 years now, this film's been out. I'm hoping to maybe one day go to a screening, because they're supposed to be like re-screening this movie, and I actually have a Blu-ray right here. This is the Steelbook. Okay, and on the back you got the Hefe Ash with this girl behind them and the dad's coming out. It's classic look. But yeah, it's the Blu-ray Steelbook. But that's pretty much the story and the plot. I don't want to give too much away, but